Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama, where today two teams riding magic carpet rides hope to keep the good times rolling. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are red hot, finishing the season with 6 straight wins. Today they'll meet North Carolina State, the Wolfpack, on a 4-game. You're watching ESPN's presentation of the 2008 PapaJohns.com Bowl. Welcome, everyone, to the Old Gray Lady, Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Today it's the ACC's North Carolina State Wolfpack and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights of the Big East. Thrilled to have you along for the ride. Should be a beautiful day for football. With my partner, Sean King, my name is Eric Collins. And, folks, what an unlikely bowl game we have for you. Two teams that began the season like ugly ducklings, finishing the season like swans. Let's talk about Rutgers. They started the season 1-5 in their first 6 games. They've since reeled off 6 straight W's.
You're right, Eric. They got hot. They're hot as fish grease. One of the key catalysts has been senior quarterback Mike Teel. Got off to a rough start, 9 interceptions in the first 4 games of the season. But like any senior, he has rebounded, throwing 20 touchdowns in this 6-game winning streak, culminating with the 7-touchdown performance on senior day as they beat the Louisville Cardinal. But every fast car has to have a reliable engine, and he has relied on junior wide receiver Kenny Brent. The all-time receptions leader in Rutgers history. They have formed a dynamic duo that NC State has to account for today.
Well, don't look now, but NC State may be as hot as Rutgers. NC State began the season by continually stubbing their toe. They had a grand total of 2 wins going into the month of November, with one of those wins coming against William & Mary. No offense. But they've been healthy, and all of a sudden they're hot. Their quarterback, Russell Wilson, a big reason why.
Russell Wilson has been outstanding. He was voted first-team All-ACC quarterback, and he's a freshman. Very rarely does a freshman show the kind of maturity that he's shown down the stretch. He can beat you throwing the football or running the football. He's a dynamic dual threat that could pose problems today for this Rutgers defense.
All right, the ball has arrived here at Legion Field. We are ready for the 3rd edition of the PapaJohns.com Bowl. A good crowd on hand at the Old Gray Lady, Legion Field, for the 3rd running of the PapaJohns.com Bowl. You couldn't ask for a better football day. Weather-wise, late December here in Alabama. Temperature 58 degrees at kickoff. Sunny skies. I don't see a cloud anywhere in sight. This is going to be ideal football playing weather for both these two schools. There's a good look at the 2nd year head coach at North Carolina State, Tom O'Brien. Spent a lot of time up in the Boston area at Boston College. Had a phenomenal bowl record there. 6 wins, just 1 losses. And you take a look at the numbers for North Carolina State and say, well, geez, they're a mediocre team. 6 wins, 6 losses. 4-4 in conference. They weren't a mediocre team at the end of the season. They really turned it on with 4 straight wins to finish out the regular season. And there's the man he'll be matching wits with, Greg Schiano. Now in his 8th season, the 4th consecutive year, he's led the Scarlet Knights to a bowl game. That is a big accomplishment with Rutgers. For years, not a lot of success playing football in the Piscataway, East Brunswick neighborhood, but that's all changed right now. Look at this. They've won their last 6 consecutive games, and once again, they're bowling for the holidays. Rutgers has won the toss. North Carolina State will receive the kickoff from Ted Delagana. It's a short one, fielded at the 28-yard line. The up-back with the football. Out to the 37-yard line goes Clem Johnson. Johnson expected to be a big deal on the defensive side for North Carolina State. Gets an early touch of the football. And there's a good look at the 19-year-old quarterback from Richmond, Virginia, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal, leading this team down the stretch as they've recovered from a rough start. It's all been because this young man's performance. He's been able to run and throw the football effectively and find a way to will his team to wins.
Those numbers are right. Just 1 interception on the year. That coming way back early in the season in a game against Clemson. It was a jump ball, his only interception thrown. They're going to run on 1st down. Jamel Eugene loses the football. It's down, and Rutgers has the football.
And definitely not the way you want to start the game if you're North Carolina State, but if you're Rutgers, that's what you want. You want this defense forcing turnovers. Good job right here by Jamil Eugene of getting into the open field, but just didn't contain possession of the ball all the way until he went down. Good job by Rutgers of forcing the fumble.
It was Courtney Green, the four-year starter at safety, who forced the fumble. Jason McCourty jumped on the football. Not a good sign for NC State. They turned their season around by having the steady grip on the football. So Rutgers, with that potent offense, will throw on first down. Mike Teel deep over the middle. It's caught. Taekwon Underwood. Pickup of 21 yards.
And the last thing you want to do is give this Rutgers offense extra possessions. It's a big play, vertical passing game that they have. And you see right here, Mike Teel, the senior quarterback, comes out right on the button to senior receiver Taekwon Underwood.
And you look closely on Mike Teel's shoulder, you may see a chip. He had a fantastic senior season, particularly at the end of the year, but it was not either the first team or second team Big East quarterback, and that has him a bit chapped. He made a point of saying he'd like to have a big game here in his final go-around as a collegiate signal caller. Cordell Young, his first carry, barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. All right, Sean, tell me about your impact players for Rutgers.
Well, enough said about Kenny Britt, the all-time leading receptions leader in Rutgers history. He's just outstanding, averaging 113 yards per game this year. Taekwon Underwood, you saw him on the first play of the game. He's a senior receiver that has to be accounted for. And the offensive line doesn't get a lot of praise, but since Art Frost was installed in this lineup, they've been outstanding in giving that senior quarterback, Mike Teel, time to hit those targets vertically down the field.
Art forced a true freshman. They put him into the starting lineup, and that line seems to have solidified ever since he's been a participant. On second down, Teel throws it up for grabs, almost picked off. Oh, Nate Irving had a chance to get that football right back for North Carolina State.
And I think this is one of the keys to victory for this North Carolina State defense. They have to find a way to pressure Mike Teel. And when you can do that, you can disrupt that vertical passing game a little bit. And the linebacker that broke it up, Nate Irving, actually leads the teams in interceptions, so he's very dangerous back there as a defender.
Highly thought of linebacker is Nate Irving. It's a third down and long. Mason Robinson in the game for the first time in the backfield next to Teel. 4 receivers in the game. Pocket holds up, pass is caught inside the 10-yard line. The tight end, Shamar Graves, with the grab. Pickup of 20.
An outstanding throw by Mike Teel. There's not a lot of separation here, but he fits the ball into a small window. And this is what you get when you have a senior quarterback. He's confident in where his guys are going to be. He feels that he can put the ball right on the money. Great route by the tight end, and that ball's right there where only the receiver can catch it.
2 completions for Teel, both of them big gainers, 20 yards over the middle twice.
You know, in looking at film of Mike Teel, I've been really impressed with his command of this Rutgers offense. He knows where everyone is at all times.
Delayed handoff, Cordell Young. Again, tough sledding. Man, some hitting going on early in this one, a pickup of just a yard. Yeah, the beginning of the season was an absolute nightmare for Greg Schiano's bunch. They lost right out of the chute a home game against Fresno State, and believe it or not, things got worse from there. Through 6 games, they had a grand total of 1 win. But then they flipped the switch and have run off 6 consecutive wins. A big reason why. Mike Teel just caught fire.
He did. He's been sensational down the stretch, and he would like nothing more than to culminate his career at Rutgers with 2 back-to-back outstanding performances. Threw 7 touchdowns on senior day against Louisville, and is looking to try and do the same today against North Carolina State.
Looking in the end zone. Nobody home. Pass sails out of bounds. I think he was looking for his star receiver, Kenny Britt.
And one of the things that really stood out as we talked to Coach Schiano this week was he said something that I think speaks volumes about not only Teel's athletic ability, but his position as leader of this team. He said at no point during the losing streak, the 1-5 start, did anyone on the team come to him and say, you know what, can we make a change at quarterback? This team believes in Mike Teel, and he rewarded that belief by the way that he's played down the stretch.
Rutgers trying to cash in that turnover. Incomplete, looking for Graves back of the end zone. A little bit too steamy.
And you couldn't ask for anything better if you're that NC State defense. As potent as this Rutgers offense has been, you fumble the ball on your first play from scrimmage, but the defense holds, and hopefully is going to hold Rutgers to only a field goal. So I would say this is victory North Carolina State, even though Rutgers is going to score.
So the freshman, Sansantee, will come on. This is a 23-yarder. Oh, it's a fake. Little option. Touchdown, Rutgers. Andrew DePaula, the holder, saw something there, and that play worked to a T.
And great job by Andrew of knowing what to do with the football. A lot of times the holder would have pitched the ball. He did an outstanding job of being patient, going down the line like he's been running the option his whole life. And look at Coach Schiano pulling out all the stops right from the get-go. He said, we came to win, and it's evident from the play calling so far.
So now instead of a field goal, this is going to be an extra point attempt. And it is blocked at the line of scrimmage. It doesn't make it to the goalposts. Now some unusual plays there with the kicking game. Greg Schiano's team, they're going to have to settle for 6, but they'll happily take the 6. The fake field goal works perfectly, and Rutgers gets on the board first here at the PapaJohns.com Bowl. Rutgers on top of NC State 6-0 on the fake field goal. We thought that it was going to be Andrew DePaula, who normally holds on that fake field goal, but instead it was Rob Cervini, who was touching the football in a college game for the first time ever. Cervini playing in his very first college football game, gets the snap and runs it in 6 yards for the first touchdown of the day. TJ Graham on this return for NC State. And Graham can't get going north and south. He is dropped after return of 13 yards. All right, second play from scrimmage so far today. NC State allowing their quarterback Russell Wilson to run to the football, and he gets close to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 4. Sean, who are your impact players for the Wolfpack?
Well, wide receiver Owen Spencer, he's done an outstanding job being a big play threat for quarterback Russell Wilson. We have running back Andre Brown, who didn't get to start today, but he's been an important part of this NC State running game. Also effective out of the backfield as a pass catcher. And you just saw TJ Graham return the punt. He has blazing speed at the wide receiver position, and they're trying to find a way to get him open in the open field. Andre Brown with his first.
Malice on the stop, but a pickup of 7. Yeah, Andre Brown, the normal starter for NC State, but didn't get the nod today. Instead, Jamel Eugene gets the first carry of the day in their first series, picks up 7 yards, and then loses the football, giving the ball right over to Rutgers.
And they've been interchangeable all season, and maybe Jamel just had a better practice leading up to the bowl game, but we'll see a lot of Andre Brown today.
Fake to Brown, quick toss out. Jarvis Williams, his first catch, and Williams crosses the 50 all the way down to the 40. 20th catch of the year for the sophomore from Orlando.
And one thing about the wide receivers from North Carolina State, they have great size. Jarvis Williams goes 6'4", 205 pounds, so when that contact happens, he gets positive yardage after the contact. He's a big receiver, very tough to bring down in a one-on-one situation with most cornerbacks.
Gain of 18 for Williams. Another completed pass. Darrell Davis with his first grab, and they're going to lose 4 yards. Devin McCourty coming up in support and dropping him for a loss.
And Devin said, you give me the first time, that's my fault. The next time, you know what? I'm going to see what's happening. I'm going to go make a play.
Devin McCourty quite possibly playing his final game ever with his twin brother. Jason McCourty, the other starting cornerback for Rutgers, but because Devin McCourty had to redshirt a season, he is technically just a redshirt junior, even though in terms of his progress towards his graduation, he is a senior. His brother Jason is a true senior. towards the end zone. Man wide open. Touchdown, Owen Spencer. Man, that looked easy for Russell Wilson and the Wolfpack. A 44-yard touchdown strike.
And I'm so impressed by Russell Wilson. The freshman is able to decipher the coverage and has the patience to allow this route to come open. This route takes a long time as it's going back across the field, but he's just playing with such confidence right now that the maturity level back there at that position is just outstanding, especially from a freshman player.
Josh Chakowski, the extra point. And where Rutgers couldn't make their extra point, North Carolina State, they do. And with that, the Wolfpack take their first lead of the day. Russell Wilson, an absolute laser beam into the end zone, and Owen Spencer gets the Pack on the board. Couple of early touchdowns, one for each side. Owen Spencer, the most recent one for North Carolina State. And the Wolfpack on top of Rutgers by a point. 8 plays, 81 yards, took almost 4 minutes off the clock. Russell Wilson keeping the drive alive, picking up 12 yards on a 3rd and 11 with a scramble. Short kick, fair catch called for, made by the up back at the 25-yard line. That's where the Scarlet Knights will take over. These two teams have never met before on a football field. Mike Teel wants to throw on 1st down, and Teel gets it out. Pass is complete in the flat. Pick up about 7 yards to Kenny Britt. That's the first time we've called out Kenny Britt's name with a catch. Play action. Teel wants to throw again, a deep ball across the middle. Kenny Britt, his 2nd catch. What a year Britt has had. Now 83 grabs on the season. 2nd best in the country in yards per game. And
he's a big receiver. He gets up the field, uses his body, and the quarterback puts the ball right there where he can make this catch regardless of what the defender does. And North Carolina State brought a corner cat right there, but the junior receiver has so much experience. He understood that the pass protection could handle the corner blitz, ran his route, did a good job of staying vertical, giving his quarterback an easy target to throw to.
This may be Kenny Britt's final collegiate game. He's just a junior, but he has got a rosy future playing professionally should he choose to come to the NFL. Down the right sideline, incomplete. Looking for the fullback, Jack Corcoran.
And one of the things that separates this Rutgers offense is the way they attack the defense vertically. If you notice, there's been a large percentage of Mike Teel's throws that are more than 15 yards down the field. They force you to cover the football field vertically. They're going to put pressure continuously on that secondary to make plays down the field.
And John McNulty, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, has been calling all the right shots in recent weeks. Over the last 5 games, the Scarlet Knights averaging 46 points per game. Hand off to Brooks, and Brooks met behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 1. There's that man, Nate Irving. You told us about him a moment ago, Sean. He can do a lot of different things for you.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal all season for this NC State defense. 73 tackles, 4 interceptions, 9 tackles for a loss. He's been all over the field, a terror for opposing offenses. Plays sideline to sideline, can rush the passer, can drop in the pass coverage, and also is a very sure tackler.
3rd and 11. Dump off underneath. Not nearly enough for the 1st down as Dennis Campbell is pushed out of bounds. It's going to bring up a decision quite possibly on 4th down for Rutgers. 4th down and 4. What's the thinking here?
And it's a decision that you can make. It's a thing if you decide to go for it and you don't get it. It's not great field position for NC State. I mean, it's good, but it's something that you can overcome defensively. But I think the smart thing in a 7-6 game is to punt the football. But as we've seen, you never know what Rutgers is doing just because they run their special teams on the field.
Dangerous returner back for North Carolina State. TJ Graham can fly. Ted Delagana, a little pooch. That's going to bounce at the 4. Heck of a play. Heck of a play. Tyquan Underwood keeps the football in the field of play, and it's down at the 2-yard line.
And this is why Rutgers has been successful down the stretch of this season. This is a senior starting receiver here that understands the importance of also doing his best on that special teams. Now you back this NC State offense and force them to come with their backs in their own end zone.
Good look at middle linebacker Ryan D'Imperio, Jr. Was really stepped up this year late in the season. Rutgers looking for a stop on 3rd and 12. Wilson down the right sideline, caught. Jarvis Williams with the grab deep into Rutgers territory. Pickup of 37 yards.
And this is a great job of Jarvis Williams getting open down the field, extending, catching the football with his hands. Good job of getting off the line of scrimmage. A lot of times big receivers struggle at the line of scrimmage with cornerbacks that are a little quicker than them, but not Jarvis Williams. And that was also a great job by the offensive line and running backs of NC State of picking up that blitz that Rutgers brought, giving Russell enough time to throw the football.
Pass caught again deep down the field. Chains keep moving. Darrell Davis with the grab, a pickup of 23.
And this is an outstanding catch, a little play action by quarterback Russell Wilson. And look at the ball placement. To a lot of quarterbacks, that's cover, but when you're playing with confidence, when everything's on the screws, you feel like all your receivers are always open and you make those kind of throws.
Eugene, right side, and for the second time, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Alex Silvestro with the stop. We've called out Silvestro's name a couple of times here in the first quarter.
And the thing I like about this NC State passing game is they spread the football around. Owen Spencer's caught a touchdown. Jarvis Williams had some big catches, and Darrell Davis you see with the outstanding catch. So you can't key on one receiver. You have to cover the whole field because Russell spreads the ball around to who's ever open.
Wilson takes off inside the 20. Out of bounds at the 14-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down marker. Devin McCourty pushes him out.
And again, I just like the maturity that he plays with. You never know that he was a freshman by the way he runs this offense. When nothing's open down the field, he can check the football down. He can pull the football down and run it. When people are open down the field, he doesn't panic. He takes his time, makes an accurate throw. I'm thoroughly impressed with this freshman quarterback, who the rest of the ACC knows about because they named him first team All-ACC at quarterback.
3rd down and 3, over the middle, dropped. Trying to get the football to Andre Brown. And in coverage, the catch not made.
And they ran a return route right here, and you know, actually makes a good throw. It's a ball that Andre Brown will tell you that he has the catch. But what I like about it, you don't see him get extremely upset with his running back. He understands that at times guys are going to drop passes. You know what? We're not going to get rattled. We're moving the ball offensively. We'll get another chance, and Andre Brown will make that catch the next time.
Josh Chakowski comes on, 15 out of 18 on the year. This one from 32 yards. No worries, dead central. And NC State, they widen their lead. Greg Schiano's bunch now down by 4. 10-6 is our score. Welcome back, everyone, to Birmingham, Alabama. Rutgers trailing North Carolina State 10-6. Rutgers got on the board first on a fake field goal. It ran in for a touchdown, missed the extra point. The Wolfpack, they stormed back with 10 unanswered. Bradley Pearson kicks it off, and another short kick taken by the upback at the 35-yard line. Mike Teel hands it off to Jordan Brooks on first down, and Brooks picks up 6, maybe 7 yards. Sean, what was your bowl experience like as the quarterback at Tulane, playing in Memphis in the Liberty Bowl back in 1998?
Well, it's an unbelievable experience. You work so hard in the spring football. You work so hard in the summer, in the fall. It's so difficult to have enough success during the season to actually qualify and be invited to a bowl. It is definitely a great culmination to a season, especially for the seniors, who it may be their last time actually getting to play football at this level.
Teel to throw on second down. Another deep strike to Britt. Kenny Britt's third catch of the day, 18 yards on that gainer.
And I'm extremely impressed with junior receiver Kenny Britt. You know, his ability to kind of manipulate the little seams in his own defense is something that big receivers oftentimes aren't able to do. But you see, he understands where the hole is, understands he's going to get hit, but still maintains control of the football and makes the catch. Outstanding prospect for the next level for an NFL team that's looking for a big receiver.
We have 1 quarter in the books. So far, so good for NC State. They lead Rutgers by a score of 10-6 here at the 3rd edition of the PapaJohns.com Bowl. We played 1 quarter at the PapaJohns.com Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama. North Carolina State so far enjoying their experience a little bit more than Rutgers. They lead by 4 as we begin the 2nd quarter, but Rutgers is on the move. Just moments ago, Mike Teel breaking his school record for most passing yards in a season, now with 3,191 on the campaign. Jordan Brooks in the game is the deep end. It's going to be an end around. Kenny Britt with the football, with room, and Britt down to the 17-yard line. 17 yards for the junior.
And you have to be impressed with Kenny Britt when you think that the young man is 6'4", 215 pounds. Those guys don't generally run reverses, but he's a tremendous athlete, has enough straight line speed, and he can be used in all different types of ways with that offensive game plan.
6'4", 215 pounds. Doesn't have elite speed, but has better than average speed. He is going to be a big-time player at the next level when he chooses to go to the National Football League. Teel. Pass is bobbled and dropped, looking for Graves. Jack Corcoran almost had a chance to get that bobbled football, but it drops to the ground.
And you see Tyquan Underwood, the senior, he has a deep route. But you see NC State, they're doing a good job of understanding what Rutgers likes to do based on formation. And they're getting in the right defense for these vertical routes, forcing Mike Teel to go underneath with the football.
Brooks forward to the 14-yard line, a pickup of 5. All right, what's the thinking here now for Rutgers? They've got a 3rd down and 5. If they want to stay on the field, what should they be thinking about doing?
Well, I think you put the football in Mike Teel's hands and let him just find one of these big play dynamic receivers that he has. If you get man-to-man coverage, you'd love to have an opportunity to get Kenny Britt or Tyquan Underwood in a fade route situation with the NC State cornerbacks.
3 receivers split out to the right side. Underwood goes in motion. Incomplete. Looking for Mason Robinson out of the backfield. No one open. So the field goal unit will come on. Tom O'Brien's defense holds. San Santee, his 2nd appearance on the field. Last time didn't get a chance to kick it. Rutgers faked a field goal that resulted in their touchdown. This will be a 30-yard attempt for T. And it's blocked. That ball was deflected at the line And it scoots harmlessly through the back of the end zone. North Carolina State, they hold. Already, Rutgers has missed a point after touchdown and now a field goal. Ten to 6, still our score. Rutgers has their field goal attempt blocked. So NC State still with a 4-point lead. Things have really settled down since we first got this thing started. We had 13 points combined scored in the first 7 minutes and change. Since that time period, just 3 points in the last 18 minutes. Russell Wilson back in under center, hands it off to Andre Brown, and another negative play. That Scarlet Knight defense, they've ratcheted it up a little bit.
They have, and coming into this contest, you know, me and you were talking, and I thought this would be a shootout. I thought both offenses would, you know, put up a lot of points. And, you know, in their defense, both offenses have moved the football. But when they got into that green zone, as I call, you know, that area from the 40 to the 28, they just haven't been able to get a first down and been forwarded to punt.
NC State, they've been stopped behind the line of scrimmage on running plays 6 times already today. Wilson zigzagging his way across the field. And Wilson out to the 45-yard line, getting the first down for the Wolfpack, a pickup of 16.
And I told you, these two quarterbacks, they force you to be perfect. Russell Wilson, the freshman quarterback at NC State, coach calls a rollout to the right. No one's open. Rutgers does everything right defensively, but he's such a dynamic athlete that he reverses field, picks up a first down. He's an outstanding player, and I'm definitely excited to get the opportunity to watch him for 3 more years.
Let's go! Let's go!
2.5 to play, first half. Passes deflected at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up second down. Second down, Wilson hits his man out of the backfield, Andre Brown, who gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
And I'm sure that carousel hasn't stopped spinning around, Eric. There's some other guys, I think, who probably getting not a lot of sleep at night. You think about Tampa and John Gruden, they're 9-3 and lose their last 4. So, you know, he has to be another one that might be on the hot seat coming up.
You notice anything different with Russell Wilson or the way that Rutgers is defending him after that hot start? He's just 2 for his last 8.
Well, I think he's been the victim of some pressure that they've gotten pressure on him, but I also think he's been the victim of a couple drops. He's definitely putting the ball in locations that are catchable. It's up to his receivers to hold on to the football.
Trying to stay on the field, 3rd and 6. Blitz is on. Green can't contain him. Wilson gets the first down of his legs. Needed 6, he got 7. That's the 3rd time that Wilson has run for a first down on 3rd down.
You know, I keep harping on the Eric. These quarterbacks, they force you to be perfect. You call the perfect blitz, but if you aren't disciplined in how you get to Russell Wilson, he'll make you miss. And once he makes that guy miss, there are gaps after that because they're in a pressure package.
Trying to get pressure without Westerman. Good pass. Williams down to the 20-yard line. Russell Wilson threw that right where it needed to be.
And that's one of the things that happens when you bring a lot of pressure. You get a lot of one-on-one coverage, and you see this is what a big receiver does, Eric. We talked earlier about, I say, when they look covered, they're really open. You put the ball in spots, they're so big, they're so physically imposing that they can come back and make catches. And the people down in Orlando, Florida have to be ecstatic because Jarvis Williams is having an outstanding football game.
Looked like he may have had a little bit of a push-up there, possibly.
Well, it's never a push-up if they don't call it, Eric.
Okay. On first down. Wilson again using those great feet. Down to the 10, to the 5. Man, this kid's fun to watch. 17 yards for the redshirt freshman.
And he got up a little gingerly. I don't know if he tweaked something a little bit, but he's trying to walk something out. But, I mean, He's been able to elude the blitz. They play zone, but he gets outside the pocket, and once he gets in that secondary, he can make things happen.
Well, you saw they kind of landed awkwardly, trying to bend down and avoid a hit. Looked like his right leg may have crumpled underneath him. Still in the game. To the end zone. Incomplete, looking for Williams.
I still like the ball placement right here. This is a good job by Rutgers of coverage, but if you see where Wilson puts the football, he puts it in a spot where Jarvis can catch it or no one can catch it.
Wilson, the ACC Offensive Player of the Year, as a redshirt freshman. Saw his numbers passing on this drive. He's got 40 yards rushing on this drive. Hand off to Brown. Andre Brown, touchdown!
This is an outstanding drive by NC State. The drive was kept alive by the impressive play by Jarvis Williams, and then you have your quarterback, Russell Wilson, finding ways to keep those chains moving, and it's culminated by Andre Brown getting his first touchdown of the evening.
7th touchdown of the year for the senior from Greenville, North Carolina. Extra point is good. A 13-play drive capped off by a 5-yard touchdown run by Andre Brown. They're going to go into that locker room with a 17-6 lead over Rutgers. All right, that'll do it for 30 minutes of play here at the Old Great Lady in Birmingham, Alabama. North Carolina State playing very well for Tom O'Brien, while the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they've got some work to do. Now let's go to Reese Davis and the halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the 2008 PapaJohns.com Bowl here in Birmingham, Alabama. NC State on top of Rutgers after 30 minutes of play by a score of 17-6. Greg Schiano's bunch looking for answers coming out of the locker room. With Sean King, I'm Eric Collins, and there's trouble in paradise for the Wolfpack of NC State. Their quarterback, Russell Wilson, who was dynamic in the first half, we've just been told he is out for the rest of the game with a sprained knee.
And this changes the dynamics of that offense immensely because he's such a threat, not only throwing the football, but running it as well. So they have to make some adjustments from a play calling standpoint because Rutgers is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on the offensive backfield of NC State.
Now, first things first, it's going to be Rutgers football beginning the second half. And a good return gets the ball out to the 27-yard line. So we're expecting to see his backup, Harrison Beck, the transfer from Nebraska, come into the game. And here is Russell Wilson. He's coming out of the locker room. We were told he's done for the day, but he doesn't look like it. He's still got the pads on.
And you said that Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator at NC State, when you asked him, did he compare to Matt Ryan, you said he's uber competitive, and this is that competitiveness. He doesn't want his teammates to go through this game without him on the field if there's any way that he can get out and help them win.
Shades of Willis Reed, quite possibly. Rutgers with the ball first here in the second half. Jordan Brooks tries to the right side, and Brooks pushed out of bounds. Brooks had 21 yards on the ground in the first half. Ray Michelle with the tackle after a gain of 7. Russell Wilson, there's some drama here. Will we see Russell Wilson under center? Remember, he is just a redshirt freshman, and he's just kind of getting his athletic year started. He's still going to go to the baseball team and play ACC baseball as the second baseman for the Wolfpack come spring. Second down and 2. Brooks still the deep man in the backfield. Teel wants to throw middle of the field. It's complete. Kenny Britt, yet another grab. When Rutgers has been successful, it's been using the middle of the field.
And I think one of the adjustments is they use play action pass, which allows you to get one extra blocker in because NC State was getting pressure on Mike Teel. And maybe that's one of the subtle adjustments that Greg Schiano and his staff made at halftime. They want to throw the football vertically down the field, but to do that, you have to have time to throw it. And I guess one of the ways they're going to gate some of that pressure NC State's getting is by keeping an extra blocker in and giving Mike Teel a little extra half a second to get the football down the field.
For Britt, his 4th catch of the day, his first since the first quarter. Teel wants a bunch. Wow, what a catch! The fullback Corcoran comes down with it.
And I'm not sure what Coach Schiano said at halftime, but it obviously worked because his Rutgers offense has come out to open this second half like an entirely different unit than what we saw in the first half.
Did he catch that off his helmet?
Shades of David Tyree with his Super Bowl catch for the New York Giants.
Not your average fullback is Jack Corcoran. He now has 3 catches on the day, none better than that catch of 20 yards. Teel trying to throw back. This could be a double pass. It's going to be a double pass. With the lineman throwing it in the end zone, it's incomplete. Anthony Davis, the left tackle, looking for Tyquan Underwood. I've never seen that.
Now, I have never seen a throwback to the left tackle where he in turn threw the football to a wide receiver. And even take his glove off. See, this is what happens, Eric, when you have offensive coordinators that have too much time in between the last game of the season and the bowl game.
That's a crazy call in a bowl game. Anthony Davis, 6'6", 325 pounds, his first career pass. Teel, bullet complete. Underwood stopped at the 14-yard line.
So that's one of those plays where you know how you can kind of make a highlight film and cut off certain parts of it. See, what Anthony has to do is make sure he gets that on his highlight film and just cut out the fact that it was an incompletion. And he can, like, kind of create his own ending to his pass.
If you're trying to win a game, you got a fifth-year senior and Mike Teel is your quarterback, and you're allowing your left tackle to throw a pass,
it would have been brilliant if it had worked.
They're playing loose. 3rd and 13, they can get a first down inside the 1. Teel looking for Britt in the end zone, incomplete. And now it's going to get interesting. Now the kicking unit will come on for Rutgers. They attempted 2 kicks. Both of them had been blocked.
And this was an outstanding play by DeAndre Morgan. Dwayne Washington, a lot of NC State fans will know, great cornerback, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League and the Minnesota Vikings. He told me, watch DeAndre Morgan. He thinks this kid has a lot of potential and a lot of talent.
Santee has had an extra point and a field goal block so far today. This one gets over the hands and through the uprights. 31-yarder, good for Santee. And Rutgers on the board for the first time since the first quarter. All right, timeout on the field. NC State still up by 8. Who will be their quarterback when they break the huddle when we come back? Welcome back, everyone, to Birmingham, Alabama. The 3rd edition of the PapaJohns.com Bowl. NC State still up on Rutgers 17-9. But a big-time concern for the Wolfpack. Who will be their quarterback? Russell Wilson has been fantastic, the ACC Player of the Year. But he was hurt, sprained his knee late in the second quarter. Will Tom O'Brien bring him out here in the 3rd? Kickoff, high. Fielded at the 20-yard line. Ball will be down at the 32 after the return. And Wilson, I don't think he's coming on the field. So Russell Wilson will not be in the game. Instead, it's Harrison Beck, the redshirt junior from Clearwater, Florida.
Well, I think when you have a situation and it deals with your lower extremity, whether it be an ankle, knee, and he's such an important part of this football team, you don't want him to risk further injury by bringing him out if he's not 100%.
And on the first play with Beck as the quarterback, they hand it off to Jamel Eugene. A pickup of 4 on first down. This is the injury to Wilson late in the second quarter. He does so much damage with his feet, trying to keep the play alive, smelling that end line, able to get the ball down to the 5-yard line. His right leg kind of crumpled underneath him when the defender jumped on his back. Came up hobbling immediately. We were told by the sports information director that he wouldn't be playing at all in the third quarter. We're actually surprised that he's still on the sideline in pads. Second consecutive run. Eugene bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up third down.
And one of the things that you're going to see Rutgers do definitely is they're going to force Harrison Beck to come in and show he can throw the football down the field. They're going to put a lot of people in the box and take that running game away and force the new quarterback to prove to them that he can put this football where it needs to be.
Third down and 5. Rutgers looking for a 3-and-out. Beck's first chance to throw the football. Throws late and incomplete. Nobody home. It's going to be a 3-and-out. Man, this is the script that Rutgers was hoping for coming out of the locker room. Greg Schiano's bunch marching down the field, getting a score that would have led a touchdown, had to settle for a field goal, but then stopping North Carolina State on 3 downs.
Yeah, and I think this game is going to ultimately fall into the hands of Nate Irvin and that NC State defense. They're going to have to step up right here because I'm not sure how much you can put on Harrison Beck in this situation.
Dennis Campbell back deep to field this punt, and it's blocked! It's blocked! The kicking game comes through. Loose ball. Rutgers has it. Tyquan Underwood still on his feet and down at the 15-yard line. Bradley Pearson has his punt blocked, and it's going to be fantastic field position for the Scarlet Knights.
And what a turn of events. Bradley mishandled the punt a little bit, gave that Rutgers punt rush a little extra opportunity to get the football. They make the block, and now you set your offense up with outstanding field position. See, he bobbles the snap just a little, and that was all that it took for Rutgers to get close enough to block this punt.
It was the linebacker Kevin Mallist who came in and blocked the punt. Greg Schiano, a commitment to using his starters on special teams, and it pays off. Mallist the block, and Underwood the recovery. Scarlet Knights a chance to tie it with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Complete. Underneath, Dennis Campbell. And Teel was rocked.
And Eric, this is outstanding throw because he's been under tremendous duress. This blitz package that NC State has brought in for this ball game is getting to Mike Teel, but he's standing there just like you'd expect an experienced quarterback to do, puts the ball exactly where it should be.
Yeah, Robbie Leonard, fifth-year senior, putting the hurt on Mike Teel, but Mr. Teel doesn't look any worse for the wear. Oh, a little misdirection. Teel walking off the field, and it's a direct snap to Cordell Young. Doesn't fool anyone, particularly Robbie Leonard. Leonard in on another stomp. Both teams getting a little cute here. Sean, what you thinking here on this?
Well, I just think this is a situation where you're just seeing, is NC State on top of the screws? You have a situation, second and short, maybe you can pick up an easy first down.
They lose 3 yards. Rutgers has a good team. They've been playing fantastic football. They've been resorting to blue smoke and mirrors over the last couple of possessions. Teel, caught, Underwood, touchdown! Rutgers doesn't try a pass with their left tackle. They don't try a direct snap to a halfback when Teel's walking off the field. Instead, it's standard issue football, and it results in their first touchdown since the first quarter.
And this is a senior right here making an outstanding play. If you watch Taquan Underwood come in, he sees the defender go down, so he stops, gives his quarterback a target, gets into the end zone, touchdown Rutgers.
They're not going to go for two in the tie. They're just going to go for the standard issue extra point. Santee missed one earlier, hits this one. 10 points in the last 3 minutes and 24 seconds for Rutgers. Welcome back, everyone, to Birmingham, Alabama. Taquan Underwood scooped up the block punt a moment ago and scores the touchdown a couple of plays later for Rutgers after the block by Kevin Malice, the linebacker for Rutgers, getting it done. Thrilled to have you here. One of the reasons why we're here is this man, John Schnatter, who is the man in charge. He's the Papa John's behind Papa John's Pizza. This is the third edition of the PapaJohns.com Bowl, and we've got a great game here.
Oh, 17-16, it's tight. It's a good game. Good coached, well-coached team, good players, good athletics. It's fun to watch. This
is the third year we've had the PapaJohns.com Bowl in Birmingham. Why the marriage between your company and football?
Well, you know, football brings together friends and family, and that's what Papa John's is all about. Great pizza and have a lot of fun. And Birmingham has just been a wonderful whole city. ESPN's been great to work with. We've just had a wonderful 3 years.
TJ Graham on the return from the 5-yard line, and Graham has got elite speed. Can he use it? Graham still on his feet to the 43-yard line. A heck of a return for the freshman. This game keeps getting better and better.
Wow, that was quite a return.
And they've been kicking the football away from TJ Graham the entire game, and now you see why he's such a dynamic returner. At any time, you know, he could take it to the house. And
now Harrison Beck trying to get something going for this NC State offense. Jamel Eugene going nowhere. Is Rutgers playing differently because it's the second half and they've made some changes, or are they playing differently because there's a new quarterback in town, Harrison Beck, as opposed to Russell Wilson?
Well, I think it's a little of both. They made some adjustments at the half. You can see that. But those adjustments have also been changed because they have a change at quarterback. Harrison Beck is not as mobile. He's not as elusive as Russell Wilson. So they're going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on this NC State backfield. Force Harrison to show them he can throw the football and beat him.
Plenty of time. Intercepted. D'Imperio with the football. Both teams trading picks here at the end of the third quarter. That's a big, big boo-boo for North Carolina State.
And that's a significant turn of events right there, because NC State was in field goal range, could have attempted a field goal, maybe turn this into a one-score game, meaning a touchdown as opposed to a field goal. And if you're Harrison Beck, right now you have to understand field position. You have to be able to manage this offense. You know, right there he's trying to do a little too much and puts his offense in a bad situation by the turnover that Rutgers is able to get.
Russell Wilson has started 11 games his freshman year. He's thrown 1 interception. His backup, Harrison Beck, he started 1 game. He's now thrown 7 interceptions. Cordell Young, the deep back, he's got the football. Charging forward to the 24.
And you know, if you're on that NC State sideline, you have to, right now, just go and grab Harrison Beck, because if Russell can't play, then he's your quarterback. You have to pat him on the back and say, don't worry about it, that play's over. When we get back on the field, if it's not there, don't be afraid to check it down or throw the football away.
And there are options for North Carolina State. Remember, we told you they've had 3 different quarterbacks start games this year. It's not just been Russell Wilson and Harrison Beck. They also have Daniel Evans, who has started a decent amount of games during his 4-year career. He is available should Tom O'Brien choose. On 2nd and 6, it's complete. Kenny Britt gets the first down and more. Pickup of 12. NC State, they didn't know how good they had it during that 4-year period when Phillip Rivers was under center. He was fantastic, didn't miss any games. But since Phillip Rivers left to go to the NFL, it's been a hodgepodge. And Daniel Evans, one of the guys that's taken a turn under center.
It's always difficult to replace a Phillip Rivers. He was one of the outstanding quarterbacks to play college football.
Dennis Campbell in motion. Teel caught. The tight end Kevin Brock with his first grab of the day. 24 yards over the middle.
And Mike Teel is feeling it right now. This was an unbelievable throw right over the outstretched arms of a North Carolina State defender. If you look at this angle here, he puts this ball right there. Any lower and it gets deflected. But he puts it in a spot where his tight end can catch it. Great job right now by Mike Teel in that vertical passing game. They seem to be getting a little more comfortable in what NC State is trying to do defensively.
Joe Martinick in the game for the first time as the deep back behind Teel, and they give it to him. And Martinick busts through. Down to the 26-yard line. The state of New Jersey's all-time leading high school rusher getting a chance and picking up 14 yards.
And the credit definitely goes to this front five of Rutgers. They do a good job of getting a hat on a hat with that NC State front seven. You get those running backs into the secondary, and good things happen.
Martinick had over 7,500 yards as a high school player. You'd be winded after all that running. Give it to him again. Dropped at the 21-yard line. I'll say this for Rutgers and Greg Schiano. They've tried every play in the playbook. They're emptying the roster. They're letting everyone play here in the PapaJohns.com Bowl. And it's paying off in the second half.
And I think that's a telling stat right there. Rutgers has been consistent, been able to move the ball. In the first half, they just couldn't provide points. The second half, they're moving the ball and scoring. But NC State, since quarterback Russell Wilson went out the game, didn't come back at halftime, they've just been inept offensively, unable to get anything accomplished.
Martinick, his third straight carry, gets the first down, weaving his way to the 10. That quite possibly could be the final play of the third quarter. Looks like Rutgers is going to be content with the way that they've played in these 15 minutes. They're going to run to the other end of the field, knocking on Tom O'Brien's door. They've got a chance to take their first lead since way back in the first quarter. Greg Schiano's bunch, what a third quarter they had. 13 unanswered points. They're within 1 point. And when we come back, they're in scoring position to take the lead. Russell Wilson still twiddling his thumbs as his NC State Wolfpack up against it right now. They still have a 1-point lead, but Greg Schiano's bunch threatening not only to knock on that door, but to bang in that door. They did all the scoring in the third quarter. And now they're within 1. Joe Martinick already 30 yards on this drive, 7 yards behind Mike Teel. They give it to the fullback, and this is Corcoran. Pickup of 1. Well, this was the third quarter. Rutgers getting some energy with a block punt. Kevin Mallist with the block. This set up the touchdown strike to Tyquan Underwood. Rutgers almost couldn't stand prosperity. Mike Teel throws an interception to Clem Johnson, but Harrison Beck gave it right back. Ryan D'Imperio with the pick. And now, second down and goal. Pitch out, Cordell Young, nothing doing. Robbie Leonard, along with DeAndre Morgan, loss of 1.
And this is a misdirection as you toss the football away from the fullback to your tailback Young, but NC State was all on top of it, had multiple defenders out to make the tackle.
Five receivers in the game. They're everything receiver, Kenny Britt, top of your screen, wearing number 88. Teel. Don't know what happened there. Looking for Jamar Graves.
It almost seemed as though they were doing like the Florida Gator thing where Tebow acts like he's going to run and stops and hits the tight end down the middle. It's probably a little more difficult from the 11 than it is from where they generally run it. But either way, NC State did a good job of defending.
Seems as if Rutgers is a little bit more interested in trick plays than actually running solid plays that they've been doing all season long. 27-yard field goal attempt for San Santee. He's already had a field goal attempt and an extra point attempt blocked. First lead for Rutgers since the first quarter. Greg Schiano's bunch looking for their third consecutive bowl win. When we come back, NC State will look for some offense. We're at the old Gray Lady, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, Legion Field. For the first time in a long while, NC State no longer in control of things. 13 unanswered points by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights after 17 unanswered points by NC State. And Rutgers up by a deuce. They'll kick the football off. TJ Graham, the speedster, fields at the 7. Gets a full head of steam. And is caught by the shoot tops at the 35-yard line. We now have our third quarterback of the day for the Wolfpack. Daniel Evans now replaces Harrison Beck, who replaced Russell Wilson.
Well, I think with the way that Harrison was performing, he just didn't seem comfortable. He didn't seem like he was, understanding what they were trying to get accomplished. So you give Evans an opportunity to come in and maybe generate some momentum for your offense in this fourth quarter.
Wilson out with that sprained right knee. Harrison Beck had a couple of series, didn't generate any offense and threw a pick. Handoff, and Andre Brown falls to the turf, a loss of a couple. This Daniel Evans is not wet behind the ears. He has started 18 games in his career, 9 as a sophomore, 8 as a junior, 1 earlier this year. He's a pedigree guy. His dad, Johnny Evans, was one of the all-time greats as a quarterback at NC State back in the 70s. But right now, a tall task, getting some offense going against this tough Scarlet Knight defense. Third down and 7. Good strike. Anthony Hill, the big tight end, his first catch of the day.
And that's a big completion, Eric. A lot of times when you're a quarterback coming in off that bench, you need something to get your confidence right. He bobbles a snap a little bit, but this is where that experience, those 18 starts, comes into play. He's able to keep his head downfield and throw an accurate football for his tight end to catch. And it's just little sparks like that that can ignite the fire when you have a quarterback coming off of the bench.
So 2 seniors combined to pick up 21 yards. Evans. Nobody home, throws it out of bounds. This is a battle of 2 of the most unlikely bowl teams. Tom O'Brien's team was 0-4 in the ACC before reeling off 4 straight wins. Greg Schiano's team was 1-5 through the first half dozen games before ripping off a 6-game winning streak. Both happy to be playing football here at the end of December. The give to Brown. Gain of 1. Damaso Munoz, among others, on the stop. PapaJohns.com Bowl, the 3rd edition of this event here at Legion Field in Birmingham. With Sean King on Eric Collins. This has been a roller coaster ride for both these clubs. North Carolina State whipping off 17 unanswered points. And then Mike Teel and Rutgers coming back with 13 unanswered of their own to take a 2-point lead. Shade over 10 minutes remaining. These two clubs have never met before on a gridiron. Third down play. Caught! Another third down conversion. Jarvis Williams this time.
And another outstanding throw by Daniel Evans, but boy, Jarvis Williams has come up big today for this NC State offense. Great job of getting across the field. The quarterback gives him an opportunity to catch his football, and look at the strength in his hands. Even with the defender draped over him, able to secure this catch. And what can you say about the young man, Daniel Evans, who has graduated, by the way? So this will be a wonderful way for him to go out during his stay at NC State, to come in off the bench and save his football team.
They should just forfeit first and second down and just play on third down. Pickup of a couple, Andre Brown. Call it a gain of 3 to the 17. Kevin Malice, captain, with the stop.
And Coach O'Brien and his staff, they're on the sideline right now. They're in field goal range. They would like to score a touchdown, but they don't want to turn the football over and not get an opportunity to take the lead in this ball game.
And when Tom O'Brien's team was doing things well in the first half, it was with Russell Wilson converting third down and longs. And now Daniel Evans doing the same thing on this drive, converting a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 9. Touchdown! Anthony Hill, the senior tight end, 2 big grabs on this drive alone, and North Carolina State back up on top.
And Aaron, I told you, when he completed that first third down completion to his tight end, that little completion got his confidence going to where he felt like, you know what? I have the ability to do this. Does a great job of showing patience. He rolls to the right. This is his design play to go back to the tight end. So it's a very catchable ball that his tight end can run under. Touchdown, NC State.
Evans to throw for it. Incomplete. They'll have to settle for 6, looking for George Bryan, the backup tight end. Well, what a difference a quarter makes. North Carolina State, 5 yards total in the third quarter, 64 and a touchdown on that drive alone. Welcome back, everyone, to the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. A magical drive by NC State to get right back on top of Rutgers. The graduate student, Daniel Evans, shaking off the rust and leading the charge for a touchdown pass to Anthony Hill. Jason McCourty on this return. He's out to the 34-yard line. That's where Rutgers will start on offense, down by 4.
Kid, he's extremely athletic, presents a lot of problems. It's a long way to travel from Maryland.
Operating out of the pistol. Mike Teel wants to throw. And Teel's pass is caught. Dennis Campbell with the grab. Thank you, Reese. Yeah, it's just been a really interesting time with the Rutgers athletic department ever since December 10th. Robert Mulcahy fired from his spot with a year left to go on his contract. A lot of good things done under the watch of Mulcahy. Some other things that they'd like to take back. Big play, right side, touchdown, Kenny Britt. Scarlet Knights get it back. Teel to Britt.
And this is what happens when you give Mike Teel time in the pocket. Excellent job for pass protection by this Rutgers front 5. Play action passes affected, sucks the safety up just enough to get Kenny Britt, the all-time reception leader in Rutgers history, deep for a touchdown.
Britt now with 119 yards on the day, but more importantly, Rutgers up by 2, make it 3. Sansantee with the extra point. Things getting good here in Birmingham, Alabama. 3 lead changes in the last 5 minutes and 1 second. The most recent lead change gives the advantage to the Scarlet Knights. Welcome back to Birmingham, Alabama, the third running of the PapaJohns.com Bowl. Rutgers fans currently enjoying their trip a little bit more than North Carolina State, but that could change. Kenny Britt with yet another touchdown, his 17th touchdown catch of his career, tying a school record. And now it's the Wolfpack's turn. T.J. Graham. And Graham out across the 40 to the 41. Daniel Evans, the third quarterback of the day, in for NC State. Throws over the middle, complete. T.J. Graham. Now it's Jarvis Williams with another catch. This was Daniel Evans on the last drive, his first of the day, finding his big tight end Anthony Hill on a third down. On another third down, finding Jarvis Williams, and eventually pulling a rabbit out of his hat here in the Magic City, finding Anthony Hill for the score. And this is doing something right here. Daniel Evans started one game this year. It was week 2 against the Tribe of William and Mary. Was actually taken out of the game in the second quarter, replaced by Harrison Beck. Since then, he's played a grand total of 1 play. Pocket collapsing. Picked off. Devin McCourty.
And if you see a little adjustment by Greg Schiano in that Rutgers defense, previously on third down, they tried to put pressure on Daniel Evans and it forced him to play man-to-man coverage. Well, this time in third and long, they said we're going to drop back in the zone and see if the new quarterback can read the defense. He doesn't do a good job of that time, and it ends up resulting in a turnover for Rutgers.
North Carolina State, their third giveaway of the day. Martinick, the workhorse, here in the fourth quarter. Pickup of 2. Ray Michelle on the stop.
And I think Coach Schiano is completely content allowing this clock to run down. Even if they aren't able to pick up a first down, they'll punt and force Daniel Evans to take North Carolina State the entire length of the football field to either tie the game or try and win it.
Evans replacing Beck, who replaced Wilson. Teel under center. Under 4 minutes to play. Complete to Corcoran, who's brought down by DeAndre Morgan. Pickup of 5. It's going to bring up third down. There's John McNulty, offensive coordinator.
And you have to be impressed with the fight that Rutgers has shown. The ball game at NC State, for the most part, seemed to be in control of, but they've come out in the second half and made the necessary adjustments, and now they have the lead with a chance to even add to that total here in the fourth quarter. Very impressed with the way Coach Schiano has gotten his team to continue to fight.
Caught, first down, Underwood. Pushed out of bounds, that'll stop the clock. On third down and 2. Senior to senior, Teel to Underwood.
And again, the ball placement on this pass by Mike Teel is what makes this a successful play. He puts the ball in a position where Taekwon Underwood can not only catch it, but continue his momentum as he heads to the sideline to pick up the necessary yardage for a Rutgers first down.
Right there, John McNulty looking for a senior moment, trusting the guys that have been there a while to make a play on third and 2 and keep that clock rolling. NC State with just 2 timeouts to work with 2.5 minutes to play. Delayed handoff to Martinick, and Martinick stays on his feet. He's got a chance. Down to the 5-yard line, and a late flag comes in. It'll probably be face mask. This Martinick opening eyes here in Birmingham.
Personal foul. mask. 30.
And early in this game, Eric, we saw a lot of Jordan Brooks at running back for Rutgers, who's a bigger back, and maybe he was wearing this NC State defense down because they seem to be a little exhausted and tired because Martinick is getting into that second level without encountering much opposition.
Yeah, there's that face mask. The hand grazed the face mask on the way through. Didn't look like there was a major tug. Didn't make much of a difference. Instead of the ball being on the 5-yard line, it's half the distance to the goal, 2.5. Martinick has picked up 64 yards all in the second half. And this time he's going to lose some yards. That play busted up from the start, getting in and making the play, Nate Irving. That's just what the doctor ordered. NC State cannot allow a touchdown. A touchdown and it maybe Katie bar the door. NC State takes their second timeout. Second down here. Second and goal, ball in the 9. Martinick deep in the backfield. They fake it to him. Heck of a catch made by Corcoran. I think he may have stole some of Lester Hayes' stickum. This Corcoran kid is catching everything. But it's going to bring up third down and goal. Did he fall out of bounds? No, he stayed in bounds, so the final timeout of the game used by NC State.
Oof. And that was a tremendous catch by the fullback, Corcoran. If this is an incompletion, then not a lot of time is going to go off the clock. So Rutgers may even be entertaining running the football. That way, NC State doesn't have any timeouts. And even if they don't score, they can drain the clock to under a minute before they're forced to kick the field goal.
Third down and goal. Martinick's going to give it a try. He's not going to get there. NC State, no more timeouts. The clock is just going to run.
And I had an inkling that Coach Schiano, that's where his thought process was, because I think even more important than the point differential right now is how much time is on the clock when NC State gets the football back, because you do have a quarterback in Daniel Evans who hasn't played a lot this year. You want to force NC State, if they're going to beat you, make him do something miraculous.
Remember, North Carolina State, they have blocked an extra point. They have also blocked a field goal off the foot of San Santee. Rutgers has also faked a field goal and scored a touchdown. A lot of different things to factor in here. That was pretty darn low, but it goes through. Field goal is good with 47 seconds remaining. 24-yarder from San Santee makes it a 6-point lead for the Scarlet Knights. Back deep for North Carolina State, the speed merchant, TJ Graham. Had the fastest 200-meter time in high school last year in the entire country. He's picking it up on a bounce. Can't use that speed, nowhere to go, down at the 33. Final game of the career for Mike Teel, looking on. No timeouts for North Carolina State. Throwing it up for grabs, incomplete. Andre Brown out of the backfield, the intended target. Coming up as soon as we're done, Sports Center. Right here on ESPN.
And if I'm Jarvis Williams or Owen Spencer, I'm tapping Daniel on the back in the huddle and saying, if you're going to throw a jump ball, throw it to one of us. Don't throw it to Andre Brown, the running back.
Four-man rush. Caught. Hill goes out of bounds. Hill has been Evan's best friend here in the fourth quarter, a pickup of 13.
And if I was Daniel Evans, because the clock stops for a first down, I wouldn't be afraid to maybe challenge this Rutgers defense down the middle of the field, because they seem to be focusing on trying to take the sideline patterns away, even though they were successful in completing that corner route to Anthony Hill.
Evans steps up in trouble. Lives to fight another day. Just throws it out of bounds. Rutgers looking for their third consecutive bowl win.
A lot of emotions running through Daniel Evans right now. When you're a young man and you're dreaming about having the football late in the game with opportunity to throw the winning touchdown, this is exactly how you draw the scenario up.
They better hurry. 22 seconds remaining, down by 6. They need a touchdown. Incomplete. Looking for Hill. 3rd down and 10. Standing wasn't working. He decided to sit down.
And Daniel actually had Anthony Hill open down the middle field, a little firmer throw, put that ball right in his face mask, and they have a completion.
You have to wonder if Tom O'Brien thought about reinserting Harrison Beck back into the game. Beck does have the stronger arm than Evans. Flushed out of the pocket, throwing it up for grabs. Intercepted. Who else? Courtney Green. Courtney Green has been a starter for 4 years, 52 consecutive starts. He has meant everything to the defense of Rutgers, and he's going to put a capper on a bowl win here at the PapaJohns.com Bowl.
And great job by Rutgers. They were down 17-6 at the half. They never lost their composure. They came back, executed their offense, got a little stouter on defense. And what a way to end the game, having your senior safety come up and get a interception.
Mike Teel takes a knee. No more timeouts for NC State, and that'll do it. The PapaJohns.com Bowl goes to the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Sean, a heck of a performance by Rutgers to rally and come back and win it in the second half.
Definitely some outstanding adjustments made at halftime by Coach Schiano and that staff. Mike Teel, your senior quarterback, comes back, plays an outstanding second half. Great way to go out.
So the PapaJohns.com Bowl goes the way of Craig Schiano and the Wolfpack of NC State. 29-23 is your final score.